Today we're going to practice the traditional division algorithm with one divisor. We're going to divide 342 by 2. So 342 is our dividend and 2 is our divisor. The first question you need to ask yourself is, can 2 go into 3? It can. It can go in one time. So 1 times 2 is 2. But the 1 is really in the hundreds place, so we're going to put the zeros as placeholders. So 100 times 2 is really 200. And then we subtract. 2 minus 0 is 2, 4 minus 0 is 4, and 3 minus 2 is 1. Our next step is to ask ourselves if 2 can go into 1. 2 can't go into 1, but can 2 go into 14? It sure can. 2 can go into 14 7 times. So 7 times 2 is 14, but the 7 is really in the tens place, so we're going to put a 0 on the end of it to remember our place value. Then we'll subtract. 2 minus 0 is 2, and 14 minus 14 is 0, but we don't need to put them. Then we'll ask ourselves, can 2 go into 2? It can. 2 can go into 2 one time. 1 times 2 is 2. We will then subtract 2 minus 2 and get 0. One way to check the solution to a division problem is to multiply your answer by the divisor, and you should come up with the original dividend. So we'll take our answer, 171, multiply it by 2, and get 345. Was 345 the dividend? Yes. Let's try another. This time we'll divide 745 by 5. So 745 is our dividend and 5 is our divisor. So our first question needs to be, can 7 go into 5? It can, once. 1 times 5 is 5, but again, the 1 is really in the hundreds place, so we'll add the zeros on the end so that we remember our place value. We'll then subtract, so 5 minus 0 is 5, 4 minus 0 is 4, and 7 minus 5 is 2, leaving us with 245. Our question becomes, can 7 go into 2? It can't. But can 7 go into 24? It can, 4 times. So 4 times 5 is 20, but again, the 4 is really in the tens place, so we'll add an extra 0 as a placeholder. Then we'll subtract. 5 minus 0 is 5, 4 minus 0 is 4, and 2 minus 2 is 0, but we don't need to put the 0 there. Our last question, can 5 go into 4? It can't, but can 5 go into 45? It can. 5 can go into 45 9 times. Then we have 9 times 5 is 45. Subtract 45 from 45, and it leaves us with 0. So 745 divided by 5 is 149. We can check our answer again by multiplying. Our solution was 149 and our divisor was 5, so we'll multiply our answer by our divisor. 149 times 5 is 745, and that was our dividend. Was 745 our dividend? It was, and we're correct again. One more, and this time with a 0 right in the center that can be a little confusing sometimes. We are going to divide 2045 by 2. So our dividend is 2045 and our divisor is 2. The first question we ask is, can 2 go into 2? And it can, one time. So 1 times 2 is 2, but it's really a 2000, so let's go ahead and add those zeros as placeholders. Then we'll subtract. 5 minus 0 is 5, 4 minus 0 is 4, then we have 0 minus 0, which is 0, and 2 minus 2 is 0, when we don't need to put those. But what we do need to pay attention to is that one of those zeros is in the hundreds place, and we can't forget about that hundreds place. So we can ask ourselves, can 2 go into 0? And it cannot, so we have got to put that 0 in the hundreds place. So 0 times 2 is 0, but now we can ask ourselves, we've done our subtraction, can 2 go into 4? And it can. 2 times, so 2 times 2 is 4. But it's really in the tens place, so we'll go ahead and add that 0 as a placeholder. Now we'll subtract. 5 minus 0 is 5. 4 minus 4 is 0, and we won't put that one again. We ask ourselves one last question. Can 2 go into 4? It can. 2 can go into 4 2 times. So 2 times 2 is 4. We'll do a subtraction, and 5 minus 4 is 1. Our answer is 1022 with a remainder of 1. We can write the remainder as R1, or we can say 1022 and 1/2. The 1 that is the remainder becomes the numerator of a fraction, and the 2 that was the original divisor becomes the denominator of the fraction. Okay, one more check. 1022, which was our solution, times 2, the original divisor, is 2044, and we have to add in that remainder of 1, so 2044 plus 1 is 2045, which was our original dividend, so we're correct again.